Well, hey guys, I'm Crystal. This is video number 1 of the 90-day challenge. I got a late start here. I was actually looking for some daily assignments to come in. I wasn't exactly sure what the program was, but I did some digging today and found out that pretty much it's just to get used to getting out of my comfort zone. I've never tried to do these videos before, so this is definitely a new thing. On top of the blogging, that's pretty cool. I've of course written plenty before. Different genre. I'm more of a poetic writer, and definitely have a following already in that. So that may end up being a good point. This blogging, just getting used to blogging, working through the obstacles that I'm working through, having to use a phone and the stupid little LG keyboard and different things. I'm getting there. I'm learning a lot about myself. Obviously, I know that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do whatever I have to do and struggle through whatever I struggle. What should take me 30 minutes sometimes takes me a whole day, depending on my internet reception and the bullshit with the browser crashing on me, and just I'll do it. I'm doing it, which is big props for me. So now I signed up for the video challenge. So now I get to learn how to video every day and speak on the spot, communicate with people. I tend to get nervous, rattled. My thoughts take off when I'm put on the spot. So I'm doing a lot of blinking. I've been playing with this for about the last hour or so, trying to figure out the lighting and the seating, and I'm doing this by myself. I thought I'd have my daughter here to help me to do the shooting and everything, so that she would, just to have that somebody else shooting me, so I don't have to do a little video and then turn around and check it and all that stuff. I just brain fart here. I may go and watch myself in the bathroom whatever it's called, the mirror. So hopefully by the end of the night I'll come up with something that I can at least edit and put out there. I'm definitely having fun trying this out. I do like what I'm seeing on the camera. I'm noticing some jowls I didn't know I had. I really didn't realize how much I look like my grandmother. I do a lot of blinking. I notice thinking with my eyes. I think that's because I really haven't thought up or planned out what I'm going to be speaking about. I know I've noticed a lot in the last couple of days. I've really managed to come out of my shell, which is something that God's been working on me with a lot in the last 6-7 months or so. First, of course, in my faith, sharing my faith with my family, my husband. He went for almost 3 years not knowing exactly how much my faith meant to me, because it was a personal matter, and we didn't share. We don't share the same religion. He's Muslim, he's Islamic, and I'm Christian, shaman Christian, and that was a roadblock for me in sharing with him. But once I was able to share it with him and tell him, you're fixing to see a whole side of me that you didn't know existed, he accepted it. It's fine, which is awesome, because of course I extended him that respect with his religion when we first met, because I did know that he was, he did show me that he was Muslim. You really can't hide praying 5 times a day or not eating pork and stuff like that. And since I've let myself out, he's taken he goes to church with me. We're very involved in church together, and I don't know if he's given up his Muslim faith or whatnot, but he can't really practice. He gets a lot of unacceptance in the community when you're an American wanting to pursue your Muslim faith. It's a closed community, and so we've had a hard time getting into that. So he has stepped in to my faith in order to have his relationship with God, with our God, and it's done a whole lot for him as a man, as a person. He's just completely changed, and it's done a lot for me. So God is working with me to come out of my shell, especially with regards to that, since it is such a big part of me, and to share it with him and with the kids. And it's slowly bringing me out of my shell in other areas. I decided when we bought this bus, I would need some type of income to support us. And I had been watching and lurking throughout several different programs and using freebie options, and Empower seemed to be what I wanted. It was just the values of Empower and the training and it just made sense. So my mind just went blank. So I had signed up with Empower the day that we bought the bus, and things iffy, just the whole rush of being different, and he had me navigating 24/7, so I really didn't get involved. Oh, I was talking about God. So God, through Empower, it turns out, is, because I was looking for something, I could hide in my own little solitary world and be invisible, but yet have this incredible income to support this incredible lifestyle on this, alongside his business, which of course we took the necessary steps to make it mobile, and so that we could paint and get that kind of business as from town to town. And of course I had this whole awesome business plan set up where we'd be giving most of our income, most of our profit, turning around and putting it into Habitat for Humanity. But things didn't work out that way, and I ended up having to depend on my empowerment income, and I was 2 or 3 weeks into my first month before I even began blogging or the training, or even tried to. And then I ran into some issues with this browser not letting me scroll through the TOS, so that was another week, and finally I didn't actually get started and blogging until right around that time that my subscription renewal was due, and I've got no income, and he's gone, and so I was at that point where I can't do this, so I wanted to keep doing it, but I was looking at being canceled. So I hurried up and did this 2-night cram session and got all the Empower training I could, and went through all the resources with the Prosperity team, all the Facebook pages I could look at, all the blogs I could look at, and just sucked it all up. And I was on the verge of quitting. Like I said, I just frustrated hearing the all in, because in my mind I was just saying buy this. It was just one upsell after another. And then I hit on John Chapman's Facebook training, and I'm like, something clicked. I said, well, I can do that. I can do that now. So I'm going to keep with it. I'm going to keep blogging. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep doing that. And I don't care what anybody says. I may not can purchase the next product and the next product and the next product, but I have an abundance of time and faith in myself and in Empower, and that just keeps building and building and building every day. And I'm stubborn. I'm going to do this. I'm not giving up. I have my dream. It's like I'm holding in my hand this crystal ball. It's one of those snow globes, full of glitter, and inside it is my dream. And here it is in my hands. I'm holding it in my hands. And everybody's telling me just to let it go and watch it shatter all over the ground. And I almost did it. I had talked to the kids one day about, it's time for me to go back to work, just to give it all up. It's not working. Get a house and just be normal like everybody else. Then I had a really bad day in there and ended up taking a walk, and I do a lot of praying when I walk, a lot of listening. And I'm just not ready to give it up. It's mine. I have it. And I'm not letting anybody take it from me. Because nobody can take it from me. So it has to be me actually loosening my grip and dropping the ball. Nobody's going to come up to me and rip this ball out of my hand. It doesn't work that way. I have to allow them to take this ball from me. I have to allow them to take this dream from me. I have to give this dream up, and I'm not going to do that. We worked for the 3 years that we've been together and put all of our resources into this. And nightmare or not, I have it. I'm not giving it up that easily for the first trouble that comes along. And so, once I had that in my mind, on the way home from that walk, God's just urging me, just write. Just get out there. Tell the world. Show the world who you are. Because you are so much. You have so much to say, to share with so many different people. I'm a housewife. I'm building a business literally from scratch. I'm a single mom. I'm a homeschooling mom. I can help those that are in my position that are loving a man who is incarcerated. That's to keep that relationship and that love strong takes a lot of effort. Takes a lot of imagination. I'm up and on my knees at 5 o'clock in the morning because that's the time he prays. And again at 9:30 at night. And that's outside of my own prayer. And the times that I spend in devotionals and in the Bible time and the prayer with the kids. And it's just, and I've been doing a lot of learning, and that's what's given me an idea of sharing in power with those people, because the financial burden I was a housewife. I didn't work more than 10 to 15 hours a week. A couple weeks every month. I worked on call for one of our general contractors that we sub through, but it wasn't a full time. I've not had to work full time in the time that I've known my husband. And so, just literally in an instant, we woke up from a nap during one of the breakdowns and were surrounded by the cops, and they took him, and literally I was left with everything. And so now I've got the burden of supporting myself and the kids. And there's a lot of other people out there that are struggling with the same thing. And not just supporting ourselves and our kids, but we know that these guys need stuff in there. The penitentiaries do not supply their hygiene. I mean, what they supply them with is water that smells like shampoo. It doesn't bubble. The toothpaste, the toothbrushes in there are just nasty. So I've got to send him money as well and keep him dressed and take care of his needs as well. So, I mean, the burden is so much. And then right now I can't talk to him because I don't have an income. I don't have any money coming in. And it's very expensive to even accept a phone call from him. and I can't visit him. He's in a whole nother state, and there's other people going through this too. Other single mothers, other mothers with even smaller kids than mine, that, and most of them don't have the education or the access, as you know, being in the prison system myself, and knowing, having seen both sides of the coin and lived both sides of the coin, I know that a lot of these mothers are not as endowed as I am, and maybe not even endowed. They're not as blessed as I am financially, and they don't necessarily have the opportunities that I have, and I really want to be able to share that with them. And of course, it would help get them off of welfare and state assistance, and maybe out of the hood, if they so desire. But it's been on my heart since Bo got locked up to share Empower with these ladies. It's a hard life. Especially having been an officer, I know what happens in there, and so my imagination gets the best of me sometimes. So I've got my reasons why, and the people I want to share with, and once God pointed that out to me, and I started. I took those steps. I started blogging regularly. I started putting myself in there and not allowing myself to feel beaten. And I'm doing the Think and Grow Rich success formula. They say do it once a day. I do it every couple hours. I read through it out loud and keep reminding myself and reminding myself and reminding myself over and over and over. And so I think so much more has come out than what I planned, so hopefully I'm still recording instead of talking to myself. It's a good thing I have some editing experience. Definitely need to see what kind of video editors are on this thing to start with. I'm not even sure. It took me forever just to find an editor for my pictures. So I've got the who I'm sharing with and what's on my heart. So it's it's step by step. I just get in there and go all in as much as I can. It leads to something else. The other night I reading through Facebook, and I've never been all that active on Facebook since I've been in Empower, and watching that video I've learned more and been more active with Facebook than I ever have since I've had the account, which I think was back in 2009. The kids set it up for me. So the other night I happened on something, and I'm reading, and sometimes I'll share or like something, and I really don't ever actually post a whole lot. It's more of a passive thing. And I was reading through some of the posts on Facebook, and saw somebody's mumble grumble comment to a pretty decent post. David was giving some props to somebody, which is awesome. I love the way Empower does that. They put it out there for everybody. Everybody's accomplishment. That's awesome. So it's turned into such a wonderful community for me, and that's why I'm win or not, I'm sticking with Empower. I've already succeeded, and that's where I was heading with this. But I guess I gave you the punchline first. But for whatever reason, this comment really just lit a fire in me, and I, being as reserved as I am and as shy as I am, it took a hold of every bit of me. And so I put myself into the conversation. I told him, you're just looking for something else to blame it on, and besides yourself. Just because things aren't what you think they should be, there's ways around it. and you have to look at that. And I gave him a blasting, which I later apologized for. And throughout the conversation, I had told people all out, and I really hadn't even said this much to my friends, my family on Facebook. Somebody had made some comment about not being able to, coming up short on their rent payment or something this month, but they've got their ticket to Denver. And so before I knew it, it had come out that, I live with my 3 kids in a broke down bus. And my story and what I've been through the last couple of weeks ended up coming out about Bo being incarcerated, single parent, looking for a job, just my situation. And I had already told the guy that, I do Empower from my phone. I fight a browser that crashes every 30 seconds. Of course, when I'm writing my blogs, I can't actually see what I'm writing because this little LG keyboards, I've got like that, a half a line that I can see, so that's been a barrier that, of course, I've managed to learn to use that little dictionary thing that scrolls across the top, and most of the time I get it good because it's a pain in the ass to have to go back and try to fix any spelling errors or anything like that. It's really just, I'd rather post spelling errors than try to go back and fix it. It's such a hassle, but I'm getting better with it. And so, as my story came out, I've got friends requests coming back to back to back to back, and I was telling my sponsor today that I've learned so much. That was about 3 days ago. In the last 3 days, about myself and the whole, I've gained so much from that one conversation, that one time that for whatever reason, I stepped up and I put myself in there. I went from being a nobody. Nobody knew I had an Empower business. Nobody in Empower knew I existed, aside from my sponsor. Now, I've got 10 or 12 new friends that every day are telling me, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. If you need help, let me know. And giving me encouragement, telling I'm good, I'm a strong woman, I'm a good writer, I can do it, I've got it. It's given me so much. And that ability, that, of course, encouraged me. I went for my job interview the other day, and it's the best, absolute best interview I've ever had. I'm 110% positive I'll be getting a phone call Monday. It went so well. And for the first time ever, I wasn't shy. I went in there with the girls popped out, head held high. Showed him a folder full of my accomplishments from when I worked with South Carolina Department of Corrections and my last job, and just as he was asking me the questions, I don't even know how to describe it. I've never seen myself act that way and be so outspoken and so comfortable. It's even this video, once I got talking, and I have no clue, I'm kind of watching myself in a mirror here, but I have no clue if the lighting's even working or if I'm still recording because my hand's covering half of it. But once I got going, I still feel myself looking around, and instead of at the camera and talking to whoever's watching this. But the changes in me that I've noticed from that first moment when I said, no, I'm not going to give up this dream, to when I said I'm going to make Empower work for me. I'm not going to see if Empower works. I'm going to make it work. To whatever got hold of me the other night that made me put myself out there and open up as much as I did. To now. Of course, I signed up as soon as I could to the 90-day challenges. I love stuff like that, It gives me the incentive to get up there, get going. Before the 90-day challenge came up, I tore the next. Well, of course, when I saw John Chapman's video that night I ended up on his blog and read something about a 90-day thing, and part of it was his major definite purpose thing from Think and Grow Rich, and that's what's actually got me back into rereading Think and Grow Rich again. And so I figured my 90-day goal would be something to shoot for, but his wording used the first of the month. So I went probably about 97, 98 days out. But right around, just before this 90-day challenge came up, I had taken the first of, the last day of May, I was preparing for my 90 days, May, June, and July. And so I found an old calendar that had fallen off the wall, so we hung another one up and just threw the other one aside. So I tore the next 3 months out and taped them. Another day I'll show you the layout and show it. Right now I'd have to go through too much trouble to pull the beds down and everything. But I sleep on a bunk that, of course, drops down, actually above where I'm sitting now, above the driver's seat and passenger seat in the cockpit. And I've got literally this much space between my nose and my 90 days right here. And every day that I've blogged, I've been putting an X on it. And I think I'll continue. I'm tempted to do another X because I'm just one of those weird people like that, but too much clutter, I'll end up not doing it. So I'm going to stick with the 1X a day. And so I love doing stuff like that, where I can keep track of myself, the incentives and all that stuff. That seems to help me a lot. It always has. And so the 90-day challenge, of course, I jumped right on. But I didn't realize exactly what I was getting myself into. When I found out it was a video challenge, I was still, okay, eventually I'm going to have to get out there and do this stuff. One of the things I was asked to do, or I offered to do, when the person couldn't get it from my written instructions, is to video my current exercise routine, which is definitely going to be awkward because it's kettlebell swings and doesn't really look too pretty. Or, well, to men it probably looks really pretty, but it's just kind of awkward thinking of doing that particular movement on camera, and of course putting before and afters up. So I've got some ideas what I'm going to do, and of course I was trying to get into video. I knew it was coming. So when I saw the 90-day video, the 90-day challenge was a video a day, okay, I can do that. And then I got lost because I'm not being told what to do. That pretty much whatever's on our mind that day, just giving inspiration and motivation and commitments and that kind of stuff. So I think I'm about done with this practice video, and I'll critique it and see what I need to fix. I didn't intend to go this long because I'm still working on figuring out the right lighting and how to hold the camera and all that stuff. But now I've got my thoughts out there and my tongue loosened up a bit. I'm more relaxed, so I'll gather my thoughts and get something on here. Peace, love, and unity. My daughter wants me to put a respect on there for plur, but I don't like what she uses that for, because it's usually followed by Mary Jade. And we don't do that anymore. So, good night.